city of Chula Vista has not always listened to their concerns. Has there been a disconnect? And what specific recommendations would you put forth, specific recommendations, to increase the transparency of decision-making at City Hall?
The first part of the question was?
It was just the writer's opinion that they feel there's a disconnect between city leadership and the community. They don't listen.
Well, the issue of transparency, I think, is really important now more than ever. I have noticed with the current administration a tendency to hold workshop meetings outside of our fancy new council chambers and in other areas of town where they don't have the equipment to record these meetings. I think it's extremely important, especially on budget hearings and matters that are of great importance, that these meetings be held in council chambers and they be recorded. I know there's a policy now to turn off the recording equipment when the workshops start. And to be more accessible to everyone, they need to keep those recordings, those streaming videos. We also need to have a lobbyist law, and we need to prevent individual council members or the mayor, as she did recently, from bringing up proposals at the last minute that other council members haven't had, or the public hasn't had a chance to review, and then taking action on them. So we have a need for great progress in this department.
Ms. Aguilar?
There's no question there is a disconnect between the residents of this community and the members of the city council. It's the reason, I mean, you've heard many remarks about all the bickering that takes place on the council. And in large part, that bickering is over things that are very, very important to the residents. We have a divided city. We have Prop E on the ballot, which has caused a lot of divisiveness, a lot of tension. There's been direct mail that's gone out that is very damaging to the city over Prop E. We've got to get past this. We've got to unify. We've got to pull the city together and move forward. It's the only way we'll be able to move forward. Yes, there is definitely a disconnect.
Mr. Castaneda?
I think that there is a disconnect, but I think that what a few of us are trying to do are trying to open up City Hall and not asking people to come to City Hall and to listen to us and to participate when we give you an opportunity to. Case in point, when we knew that we were going to have budget problems, Councilmember Ramirez and I decided we were going to hold community meetings. We were going to go to various neighborhoods that traditionally did not come to City Hall because they live in the far eastern reaches of the city. We were told by the city manager, we were told by the mayor and certain council members that we were irresponsible. That by gum, we're going to have those meetings at City Hall and the people care about their budget, they care about the services, they can come and they can talk about those things. Well, I think thankfully, Councilmember Ramirez and I talked about it, we summarily dismissed those that disagreement. We went out and we had budget meetings. And when we got people and they were able to talk to us about what they felt was important in their budget, all of a sudden everybody thought it was a great idea. We need to do more of that. We need to start acting like representatives, not like inhabitants of City Hall. Thank you.
Mariari?
I think the city has a serious communication problem. I think our website's great, but it's not kept up. I look for certain meetings and you can't track them, it's not there. Recently I was in the planning office and I found a GMOC announcement that they were having a meeting and that it was a yearly thing. It wasn't anywhere on the website. If I hadn't found that flyer, I wouldn't have known about it and I wouldn't have gone. And I didn't go. But I was like the only person there that was not staff. There was I don't think there was any other community member there besides myself. I know of a congresswoman who has a great tool that she uses, and I think when I'm elected I would do that also, is that she goes to grocery stores and she alternates through the city and goes to grocery stores and makes herself available to the public. And she has her card table there and she sits and she talks to all the public. And that's what I would do if I was elected. I would be available on weekends and I would sit there and hear what's important to the community. Thank you.
Mr. Vincent? Thank you.
there always seems to be a disconnect between the residents and the meetings that we have. Whether it's the timing of the meetings or the location of the meetings, it's never going to make everyone happy. With regards to that, I think that the most recently done was put the city council meetings and made them televised. That's a good thing that they've done so far. But there is a need, and of course the organizations like the Good Crossroads too, does try to get out there and get the information out there, along with our host organization, along with the Chamber of Commerce. There's many organizations that are trying to get the word out there. And even though the emails are flying and the messages and the phone calls, etc., everyone is busy trying to run their own lives. And there's some of us that are consider the business of the city important. And there's some people that are residents that leave it up to us individuals that are concerned, and those that are part of the commissions and meetings to take the stand and do it for them. But the disconnect comes from people, whether they want to be here or not. You're here tonight because someone told you about this meeting, and we're here tonight because we want you to hear us. And it is posted on the city's websites, and there's many emails that go around for almost every meeting. I don't think there's a disconnect with regards to the actual knowledge of these meetings happening out here. I think there may be a disconnect of concern because there are people that are thinking there's other things that they want to do. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll move on now to a new area.